So now that we've gone through the music, the actual business part,
Yes. Yes.
we kind of go into like a music current events type of um no discussion. So we have a couple of topics that we're going to talk about.
Yep.
Our producer Figure is going to have a couple of questions.
Yep.
So whenever you all are ready.
Cool. We'll call it the "What's Happening" section, and
Mm-hmm.
of what's
Wassup.
what's happening in the world of rock or what's happening in pop culture. So we're gonna start off with. I remember. I know you guys. It was a very big story in rock about the revelations of Dave Grohl's affair, right? In which he actually fathered a child with his mistress. It was very public. It was out there, and it it struck a chord. Like Dave Grohl's very much respected, very much loved, very important figure in rock music,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Not just for Nirvana and Foo Fighters, but his contributions to like Queens of the Stone Age and
Mm-hmm.
just a
Yeah.
lot of the
Nine Inch
collaborations
Nails,
Nine
like
Inch
just a
Nails.
lot of
Yeah.
collaborations.
He's an amazing musician to start, right?
Lead figure in the industry.
Exactly, amazing guy. And from what I never met Dave Grohl, but very nice guy. Um, I think what the biggest thing that came from me is like, first off, not justifying his actions. He messed up. He messed up bad, and that is one thing that's probably going to be really hard for him to work through with him and his family. Um, what I want to highlight though is the manner in which he handled, right? So instead of letting the tabloids, right, and the story get out of hand, he recorded a video where he publicly apologized to his family, his wife, his fans, right, and kind of just told the story as fact. This is what happened. I messed up. This is what's going on. And to me, um, what lesson I took from that is just the accountability that he took from himself, right? Holding himself accountable, holding himself to that higher level, knowing that he's such a public figure. Um, that's huge. That is huge because
Mhm.
a lot of us would not take that same accountability. It's not necessarily in our,
Yeah.
you know, human nature almost nowadays that, take accountability for actions. We try to make some sort of excuse. And I think especially in our neurodivergent community or, mental illness, we kind of use our illnesses or disorders, whatever you want to call them, our stuff as an excuse. Oh, I'm late again. Oh, I'm ADHD,
Mhm.
And a lot of times it's easy for us to not take accountability and try to
Mhm.
use it as an excuse. So I think for those of us who do have these things, it's important that yes, you
Mhm.
want to be sensitive, you want to help people understand what you're going through,
Mhm.
but you also need a level of accountability in yourself,
Oh
right?
yeah. I mean, first off, this whole issue is none of our goddamn
Nope.
business. This is he's handling his business. Let him handle it in peace. But what he did is something that a lot of us men need to do is just hold ourselves
Yeah.
accountable and just admit when we screwed up. First
Yes.
off, Dave Grohl is an amazing person. Just from what I've heard and how artists talk about him, just how incredible he is. I'm not going to call infidelity a mistake. It's not. These are a series of choices that you make.
Yeah.
But these choices don't change the the contributions he's made to rock music.
Yeah.
He didn't commit a crime against anybody. He didn't violate anybody. This was all consensual, and he admitted that publicly, which is something that not a lot of men
Nope.
would do.
Nope.
There's plenty of artists, we won't bring them up, who we learn about their infidelity because their wife got locked up because they attacked them
Yeah.
after learning about it, or you know, all of a sudden having a child show up that looks like you. I think what he did was really show how we handle our mistakes.
Yeah.
And again, infidelity is not a mistake. It's a series of choices.
Yeah.
But he admitted to it. And I think admitting that you were wrong is the first step to accountability. You cannot have accountability without admitting that you made a mistake.
Yeah.
And I think he showed that. But we, as people who are fans of his, have a responsibility as well. Just let him handle this in peace.
Yeah.
This is one thing that I hate about the media is it's always about the story,
Yeah.
always about the sensationalism,
The clicks.
the clicks. And you know what? He got ahead of that. He said, I don't want my family
Yeah.
to have to deal with that. And for that, I admire Dave Grohl. He did something very bad to his family.
Yeah.
He's dealing with that right now. He has a child on the way, and it's a very complicated situation for him. So let's leave him alone.
Yep.
Let's just celebrate his music, what he's contributed to the community. His
Yep.
family's his family life is his family life. Let's leave that
Exactly.
alone.
You know what? It's just the accountability part that we're talking about. You know, we're all human.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're all gonna make mistakes. Infidelity, you know, stealing, just not treating people that you nice,
Yeah.
or you know, we're
Even
all human.
lying.
We're all gonna make a mistake.
Yeah.
You, I guess, as you grow older, you know, Dave Grohl, you know, showed his matureness, or showed his,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know, as you grow older, you know, being able to say, "Hey, I fucked up."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was something running back, therapy to
Mm-hmm.
not just realize the things I'm responsible for, but how it affects others.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very big step to, you know, it's on the other person, whoever you were ever wrong,
Yeah.
to forgive you, or to, you know, that's their choice. But the biggest step is holding yourself accountable.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it goes beyond like looking yourself in the mirror and saying, "Oh, it's your fault. Oh, you did this. You're a bad person." Or not beating yourself up, but like taking it a step further and actually making it known to the person that you transgressed against and say,
Mhm.
"I need to tell you something. I did something bad. I apologize for it. And I'm going to try to get help for it." That's another thing, and that's the kind of accountability we're talking about. You know, not of course, not everything is huge and blow it up or not going to be in the papers or anything, but you know there's going to be there's certain points in our lives, and it's again
Mhm.
not because we're terrible people, it's just we're human and we're going to mess up. Guess what? Breaking news, you're going to mess up. um but what we want to do is encourage to show yourself the kind of love that Dave Grohl showed himself, the kind of grace, but also the accountability and knowing that you know
Mhm.
he's owning up to it, and we should also own up to our own transgressions. So that was
Absolutely.
my little spiel for today.
Remy's got something for us.
All
Yes,
right.
you know, there was some news surrounding one of my favorite bands of all time, Taking Back Sunday, this
Mm-hmm.
past week. Great band I grew up with. It's just part of my emo background, part of my moody teenager background. Um, so their drummer, who has been with the band for 25 years, you know, just integral part of the band, decided to leave Taking Back Sunday this past week. And you know, citing he has been working these past few years really hard on his sobriety, and he didn't feel like he was being supported in that by
Mhm.
as he put it in his Instagram post, by people he thought as brothers. Um, you know, I can't I don't want to judge anyone.
Oh,
You know, everyone goes through their problems, everyone goes through their deals
yeah.
at their own pace, at their own speed. They deal with it however they want, but I have seen videos of Taking Back Sunday playing recently, in recent years. And yeah, you can definitely see there's certain people in the band that are are struggling with sobriety.
Yeah.
And you know, it's unfortunate for Mark O'Connell to, you know, to have to take this drastic step, you know, 25 years.
Long time.
This is all he's known.
Yeah.
To be
Mhm.
fair, this is, you know, um for him to have that strength to say, you know, I need to leave all I've known. I need to
Mhm.
leave probably what's brought me the most joy in my life.
Yep.
Probably, you know, not just the other band members that are like family, but also fans,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which, you know, he probably doesn't have anything he has without his fans, and have the strength to say, you know, I have to leave for my own good.
Yeah.
It's it's a very, very sobering moment. I mean, to
Yeah.
excuse the
Yeah.
word, it's a very humbling moment
Yeah.
to come to a realization like that.
Yeah.
Um, Good for him.
Yeah.
I encourage him. He did say he will be coming out with a solo project. I will be listening,
All right. Yeah.
Same
Oh,
here.
but it's tough. It's really tough, and I applaud him for that because not a lot of people
nope.
would
Yeah.
leave.
I mean, you guys saw me struggle with
Mm.
substance abuse. I mean, my drinking was out of control for
Yeah.
a long time, and one thing that I had to learn was it was not just me, it was the people I associated with.
Yeah.
And I lost a ton of friends when I decided to get sober and stay sober. They still call me to this day
Mm-hmm.
whenever they're in town. I'm like, I can't. I just
Yeah.
can't. I've built this life outside of substance abuse that I'm not going to jeopardize.
Yeah.
And I absolutely can relate. It is one of the hardest things to do to be with. I've lost friends that I had for 10, 15 years because I needed to prioritize my
Yeah.
sobriety. And it's it's a hard decision to make, but it's also a hard decision to keep
Yeah.
because that those temptations to go
Yes.
back
Mm-hmm.
the first time you get angry or the first time you have a stressful day, is so hard. All those triggers that trigger that
Yeah.
behavior, so hard. And the worst thing, the thing that I hate about substance abuse, about addiction the most, is that you do good for a while and you relapse harder
Yeah.
than it was before. And it is a journey. And I really admire Mr. O'Connor. I love Taking Back Sunday. I
Yeah.
like him. I think I have all the CDs somewhere. Um, and I wish him luck with not just his sobriety, but with his future projects. I can absolutely relate to what he's going through and the decision that.
Yeah. And it's easy for us as fans to be like, "Oh, what the fuck? It was Get Back Sunday. They're awesome. What the
What a
hell?
wuss!
Come on!" Like, it's easy for us to stand back, but to hear the story and to kind of get the understanding and groupie how you explained it, like, it's absolutely right. Like, sometimes the people who you think are the most important, the most influential in life are the ones actually, bringing you down. And um, as hard of a decision as it must have been for Mark, like, sometimes that's the decision you have to make for your own good, for your own health, not just mental health, but just health in general,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so kudos to him. Like, hats off. We respect him for it, and that's another lesson that we can learn. Sometimes there was I was looking, there's a clothing company that I follow, and they have a really awesome sign that says, some bridges are meant to be burned. And it gets you so right, because yeah, there's some bridges that you need to let burn, you need to let go of, that people in your life that don't have your best interests at heart, or are triggering the very things that you're trying to get away from. And those are, like to your point, that you just need to cut that off and you know progress in your own journey. So yeah, very relevant.
I think our producer has a question for us.
So yeah, in 2024, piracy has reached 17 billion visits. Piracy sites. How do you think this affects small music artists and people and the incentive to make music a career?
Ooh.
Dang.
So, somebody who never used like LimeWire or Napster when I was younger, um, I I can. So, I think this is kind of just a small, not small. This is actually a big issue, but this is just a part of a larger problem, which is just how the music industry treats artists.
Yeah.
um Artists don't get paid a lot unless you're really popular,
Yeah.
and it's the smaller artists, in my opinion, that put out the best music. So you have people here, like we have our local venue here that has small bands. We go all the time,
Mhm.
and that's where we really enjoy. um Piracy sites, I have a problem with on two things. First off, music you should be able to listen to, but at the
Yeah.
same time, we need to figure out how to get these artists paid, because the
Yeah.
music that they put out should be their livelihood.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how do we do that as fans though?
Yeah.
As I think we as fans have a responsibility to support bands like the ones that are featuring today.
Yeah.
And there's ways to support bands. I mean, small bands like this thrive on merch. Get on their sites, buy their
Exactly.
merch. That's probably the best way to get that money directly to them.
Yep.
But for them to make a livelihood off their music takes so much.
Yeah.
On one hand, you have the Drake. He makes millions of dollars a year just on contracts from his music. But
The
then you have
Drake-
artists
the
like
Drake.
these who have full-time jobs. Right? What was that?
The Drake.
The Drake.
Yes, the Drake. I call him the Drake.
Sorry.
That's for a lot of reasons I'll describe later.
Tangent.
Hashtag the Drake.
Hashtag the Drake. I mean, he is probably the most popular artist that we've had in a decade. And he makes millions of dollars. I mean, he's suing his own label
Yeah.
for millions of dollars. Yet we have artists here who have to work full-time jobs, multiple jobs just
Yep.
to survive and, you know, grace the world with their art. And I think we as fans have a responsibility for that. If you were to go onto one of these piracy sites and download a Drake song, is that really going to do anything to him? No, he gets his money from his record label. But if you get one of these bands, a small band trying to get some traction out there, and you're taking that from a piracy site,
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a spectrum, I guess, of morality here.
Yeah.
Like, it's not as bad when you do it. And I think I heard Dr. Dre say once that, you know, you're taking food out of my kid's mouth. I was like, dude, you're Dr. Dre. I get where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And there, I mean, Metallica also had the thing. Lars Ulrich
With
just
the
went to
Napster.
Congress, right, and
Yeah.
was talking about that. I mean, they have a very valid reason to be angry. At the same time, they're multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, I get your point,
Mhm.
but I mean, it should be those people at the top who, you know, who will pick up the fight for the smaller ones.
Yeah.
I think they have some level of responsibility
Yeah.
oh no, I agree.
to
The music labels
take the fight.
absolutely have a responsibility here. It shouldn't be Lars Ulrich and Dr. Dre going before Congress. We should hold these record labels accountable, because
Very
how
true.
are these sites getting these
Yeah.
these files? I mean, granted, yeah, you have people out there, bad actors that can create them, but
Yeah.
what are they doing?
Exactly.
Nothing.
And it's a lot. I know a lot of us older folk, you know, can think of the bootleg days, right? Especially like in the 80s and 90s, right? You know, somebody tapes a concert and starts copying and then starts selling them. And like, that's one thing. This is like times a million because,
billion.
because, we just said reach 17 billion visits. That's 17 billion cassettes. Do you think somebody in the thrash metal scene in San Francisco in 1980s can put out 17 billion cassettes? No, this is completely different scale. But like, to your point, it's a double-edged sword, because like, if you ask some of these smaller bands, they're going to say, yeah, we just want to get our music out in the world. We want to impact people's lives and we want to reach people with our art. But, they're putting in the work. They're the ones, a lot of times I think we get jaded as fans because we hear a song like, oh, that's a really cool song. It's really cool. And, we hear talk about it. But, a band spent hours, hundreds of hours putting that together, recording it, re-recording it, mixing, producing, coming up with it. Oh, that sounds like shit. Let's record it again. That, the amount of time and skill and labor it puts into creating a song is just as just as intense and just as impactful as like our full-time jobs, and so I think there's a way to honor that, not just by listens, not just kind of saying, because I think a lot of people say that go on these piracy sites, oh, I just like the music, I just I want to appreciate them. That's fine, but to your point, yeah, absolutely, there should be a way to compensate these artists, because that's they created something and they should be compensated for it.
Yeah, small or large. So I think my point was piracy affects artists differently. Large
Yeah.
artists aren't as impacted as a smaller artist, but it really should be the labels in the industry taking this on. It shouldn't
Yeah.
be the artists themselves. The labels we let off easy.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
You know what? I'm gonna bring it back to our points. Accountability.
Accountability.
You know,
Accountability.
I'm sure there's many of you that I've pirated music, and I'm sure there's many of you that say, "I love this song. I love this artist so much." You know, Grumpy is gonna give you a mission right here. Put your foot where your mouth's at. You love them so much. Go to the website. Get some merch.
Mm-hmm.
Support them.
Yep.
And also
Just-
put your money where.
oh
Money
yeah,
where their
my
mouth
bad.
is. Yes.
Money where your mouth is.
There it is.
Mhm.
Hashtag groupie.
Yep.
Groupie.
Groupieism of the day.
Groupieism. There it is.
Exactly.
But yes, I mean, if you love them so much, if I don't know how music's been for me,
Yeah.
influential, life altering.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll go ahead and I'll go to the merch store. I'll
Yep.
get the vinyl. I'll get the T-shirt.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be able to support these.
Oh yeah.
You know, we're out here talking to you about these small bands and letting you know where they'll be
Mhm.
playing, letting you know where the new single's coming, giving you their socials.
Yep.
Mhm.
You love them so much too. You know,
Yep.
go ahead and support them.
I was saying, remember, like, even if you go watch these small bands at the hole in the wall bar, they charge $10 cover to get in. The bands probably don't get a cent of that $10.
Mhm.
Just because you see them in a concert or they're at a venue somewhere, it doesn't necessarily mean they get a decent cut. Like, that's why we like our local venue here, because they do right by the artists. But that's not the case at all places. So yeah, go support them, go watch them, go tag them on your Instagrams or whatnot. But take it that one step further. It's Groupie's point. Go buy the merch. Go buy the T-shirt. Go buy the sticker, because that's money in their pockets, and it's just one more thing to help them continue to create the music.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you go to a show, most of us go for the headliner. I mean, no secret. But those opening acts also have to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, if they got their merch there, just buy a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, you're buying 2 T-shirts or 3 T-shirts or whatever. You're already buying stuff. You're
Yeah.
helping this band out more than you're helping that opening act.
Yep.
And those, I think, we went to a concert and one of the bands, Margaritas Perdidas, awesome band from Mexico. Check them out. They had literally a sign, just need money for weed. And I'm like,
How can you deny
I
that?
bought 2 shirts and gave them a tip.
There it
and I was
is.
like, man, get your weed.
There you go.
But these bands struggle, and even though they're on tours with larger bands, that money doesn't necessarily trickle down.
Yep.
So we as consumers of this music, if you enjoy their music, buy a T-shirt,
Yeah.
buy a record. If you have the money to go to a show, you have the money. If you have the
Yeah.
money to buy the merch of the opening band, you have money
Yeah.
to buy that. And granted, not all of us have that kind of money. We just show up and we can buy what we can. Great.
Exactly.
But if you can afford to buy a $30 T-shirt, that $30 means the world to that small
Yeah.
band.
That is literally food.
That
Yeah.
is
Food.
literally
Yeah, that
food
is food for them.
Exactly.
and weed.
And I mean, if you're at a bars, you're gonna spend what, $7 a pop on a beer and a Bud Light.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
It's gonna last you. Now you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna enjoy that shirt for a long time, because you're gonna have that memento. Man, I remember seeing this band. They were awesome at the bar. Remember we went? Yeah. Now they're headlining. Whatever tour. It's always a good time to see that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey guys, we did mention a couple of times our local venue that we like to visit a lot. I do want to bring out. I visited our local venue last week and got to see part 4 of Battle of the Bands here in El Paso.
There you go.
So just a quick shout out. I went to go see one band in particular that I have a lot of mutual friends with. End up falling in love with like 4 other bands.
There it is.
So a quick shout out, Soul Parade, Saving Bandit, Nevermind. Can't remember all the other bands, but I do just want to give you guys a shout out. It was a great show, man. It was a fun time.
Yep. And we're gonna figure out a way to feature more local artists here, from the El Paso area. I mean, there's great bands that have come out of here at the drive-in, the Mars Volta, Sparta. There's a few bands going on tour right now.
Mhm.
I mean, there's just a lot of great music out there, and this is what the mosh pit mentality is about.
Yeah.
Is to get some support behind these people, get their music out there, and hopefully you all enjoy the music as well.
Yep.
So I think we're towards the end. I I think this last part of the show is where we kind of say goodbye for now. You can expect a new recording or a new live stream every week.
Think so. We'll keep us keep commenting, even though we're not live. Hook us up on their DMs, or what do the kids say? Slide into our DMs or something.
I think that's sexual in nature. Yeah.
Well, whatever you do to contact us on our Instagrams, at
don't slide
RockMental,
into our DMs.
Please do not slide. There's no sliding allowed. At RockMental Official on the Instagrams, on the Facebooks or whatnot. Let us know what you think. If there's a band that you like, or you have a band and you want us to give you a listen, do that. Or rockmental.com is also a contact us page. If you like what you hear, if you think we're full of shit, whatever, give us, send us one over and we'll do that.
We might be full of shit, so just let us know.
We are.
I'll take accountability and say that sometimes I'm full of shit.
All right, and rockmental.com, you can find some resources there. If you're in crisis, if you know somebody in crisis, dial 988 right now. Save somebody's life. Honestly, I've lost a lot of friends to suicide, and it hurts to talk about. 988, help somebody.
Yeah.
Get some help for yourself. This is what accountability is, and this is what our mantra is about.
Exactly.
Ask, answer. This is how we live to see another show.
That's right.
Nobody here moshes alone, and that's the community that we want to build.
That's right. And if you know someone who might be fall into addiction or depression, emotional distress, or maybe even contemplating suicide and just not sure where to start. First off, we want to tell you, yes, it is absolutely your right and responsibility as that person's friend or loved one to take action and intervene. I think there's a big sort of stigma, or sort of like, well, that's not my business, or that's not my place. It is absolutely your place. And we encourage you to take that action. You can also call 988. They also have resources for people who you want to help to have that conversation, where to start. Even, what you can do now to help prepare for that conversation. We also have on rockmental.com/help. We have resources, some warning signs if you think or you're not sure, someone's going through something. There's some tips that you can check out there as well. We're a community. We're all in this together. And we want to make sure that everyone feels loved and supported, because just like in the mosh pit, someone falls down, you pick them back up. No questions asked. And there's no judgment, only love and support.
All right, guys.
Hey.
I think we got through our first episode.
Yeah.
All in one piece.
All in one piece.
All right.
Remember the main message.
Yeah. Second place, third place.
We'll see.
No. Main message.
We'll see.
It's okay to kiss the homies goodbye.
That's okay. Anyways,
No?
Thank you all for joining Rock Mental. I'm Chaotic.
Mayhem.
Rumpy.
We'll catch you all next week. We'll post up this episode on rockmental.com. Give us a comment, show them some love, and we'll keep going.
Ask your homies for permission to kiss them.
Yes, consent is a real thing. Please, yes, let's do that.
Okay.
Cool.